Hey reviewers, and welcome back to the channel. And if you're new here, my name is Jonathan and welcome to Reviews. Today we are doing a video for Wilmoths Citroen in Uckfield and we're looking at the all new Citroen E-C4 electric. Let's take a closer look. Okay gang, let's do a bit of a walk around first. Do a fairly quick one to be honest with you. But this is an all new car and it's absolutely stunning by the looks of it. It's basically an SUV these days, much like most things. So it is a hatchback and we'll come onto the space in a minute. But yeah, absolutely stunning looking car. I'll go through the models and trims in a minute, but just starting with the front of the car then. This is the Sense version. So we've got dual face, black fronted, alloy wheels. These are 18-inch. And lighting wise at the front of the car, this is, you know, brand new style. It looks absolutely awesome. So you've got the LED daytime running lights at the top there, then you've got your main projector beams in the middle, fog lights at the bottom. Yeah, really, really lovely. Just at the front here by the grille, that's your radar detection system, which is for the intelligent systems the car's got and for the automatic cruise control. So yeah, moving around to the side then, here's where you can see it's more like a SUV coupe really than a standard SUV. Moving around to the back, you can see where that kind of roofline slopes down into the LED lighting there. Yeah, it's a really lovely style car. Boot space wise, you've got 380. Just going to push that to open it up. Here you've got removable floors so you can get a bit more space in there, put your cables in there, but it is nice and flat so that when you do drop those seats down, you expand it from 380 to over 1400 litres. So yeah, plenty of room in the boot there with a bit of editing trickery. I'll show you with all of the pictures with the seats down and everything. So yeah, really, really cool. Obviously you've got parking sensors front and rear as well. And moving around to this side of the vehicle, this is where you've got your charging point basically, okay? So it is Charge 3 compatible in there. It's a 50 kilowatt battery, 100 kilowatt charge compatible, and I think you can get up to 80% charge from 1 hour. Okay, moving on to space then. The front seat's actually where I'd have it. The passenger here I've got quite far back. I just want to show you from the front here as well, because that passenger seat was pretty much all the way back. If we bring that forward to a more normal position, because I'm very tall at 6'4", back to the rear passenger space, yeah, you've got tons of room in there. And of course you've got your child seat fitments there, which are ISOFIX. To access the child seats, just open up that little zip there, click them in, job done. You've got a ton of colour choices on this car as well. I do like the grey, but the white's also really nice. So I'm going to pop them up on the screen now. But next thing, we're going to jump inside, run through the interior and the features, then take it for a drive. Okay, let's go. Okay then gang, so this is the interior of the all-new E-Citroen C4. And this is the Shine version. Now you've got Sense, Sense Plus, Shine, Shine Plus as your model trims on there. Most of the goodies start coming in around the Sense Plus and Shine version. So I would probably recommend looking at probably the Shine if I'm honest with you. Just starting with some of the basics then, you've got multifunction wheel, 5.5-inch TFT display in the front there for the driver. Main, I think it's 10-inch screen for the main instrument panel at the front here. Down at the centre console then, you've got a little bit of storage in there. You've got a little bit more storage in here, quite deep cup holders, automatic parking brake, and you've got your drive mode selection and your drive mode selector, I guess, in terms of the drive train. Although this is actually single speed, so although you've got park, reverse, neutral, drive, it's basically just one speed, okay? And because we've got the Shine version here, you've got the keyless driving system on there by Citroen, which is pretty cool. You've got a storage tray down there with a little bit more hidden storage underneath, which is pretty cool. Center console here then, I'd like to see this. You've got USB Type-C, so more modern. You've got traditional USB there as well, plus you can get converters. And you've got a charging tray as well, and you can fit a very large mobile in there. So that's an S20 Plus, and that's with ease. So again, you've got wireless charging, really great feature to have. And it's easy to get to. Some car manufacturers had it the other way around, or it just wouldn't fit these bigger phones in. So fair play to you there, Citroen. The air conditioning unit here, one of the easiest I've seen. So you've got AC, automatic, max control, and then your manual adjustment here, higher or lower. Push start button there for the ignition. And then up to the top here, you've got all of your vent system, and here's your main, I guess, driver information system. So if you push the home button there, Here's where you can see all of your shortcuts. Really easy to get into them. It is touchscreen as well, so you can go in and you can just scroll up and down. Job done really. And you can use this as well if you need to go up and down. Navigation actually comes in on the Sense Plus version up, so that's a pretty cool system. It's a Tom combined one, pretty good though, to be honest with you. All your volume controls there. Something I like as well, where you push the electricity button here, this is going to change to your charge information for the car, and as we're going it's going to show you what it's doing in terms of regeneration and statistics as well. So yeah, very cool system. Right, so carrying on a bit more storage then, in here glove box wise, yeah, you've got plenty of room in there. In fact, it goes back really deep. Massive door bins there for huge water bottles. This version of these cars, they kind of paired with Samsung a little bit. So if you push this bit here as well, open this up and then push this one separately, here's where you can actually stow a Samsung Galaxy tablet, which again, you can kind of interact with this system here. So that's quite a cool feature. I haven't seen that before and it's pretty decent. Comfort of these seats, and I'm going to do a bit of a cut to them as well for cinematics. They're really nice actually. You've got the comfort materials. You can go for the Shine Plus version and get basically leather or the hype leather interior, but to be fair, in this country, you know, because it gets quite hot, these are actually quite nice. Now, just to do the traditional thing, here I am, 6'4" guy, quite a big guy as well. I've got plenty of headroom, plenty of leg room, and it is actually really comfortable. The seat's nice, it doesn't pinch you or anything. So for, you know, broader guys as well, you've got loads of room for shoulders and all the rest of it. Going into the back section here, and again, I'll do some cuts to it so you can see, but you've got a fair bit of room there. And even though the roof does slope down a bit, I sat in the back there, and because the seats are quite low down, you've actually got plenty of room and it is very comfortable in there. Of course, you've got Isofix for child seats as well, and that's on both sides, so you've got plenty of room in there. And yeah, it's a nice place to be. This is probably where a traditional passenger might have their seat. Bearing in mind, I'm 6'4", and this one's just a tiny bit in front of mine. Look at the room in the back. You've got loads of room. So yeah, that was quite impressive, and I wasn't expecting to see that. I've shown you the boot space as well. It's 380, but you can fold those seats down and it's pretty much flat because of the load leveler. So again, you've got a huge area to stash things in. So although this isn't a massive kind of SUV 4x4, the way they've designed it is very practical. So you can actually get a lot of equipment in there, certainly for smaller families. You can get bikes in the back, you can get a surfboard in there pretty easily if you wanted to. But yeah, it's a very nice place to be. I'm going to go through just some of the tech really briefly, but you've got a ton on here, and what I'll do some screenshots as we're talking so you can kind of pause it and see all of the equipment. But even from base levels, you've got all of your ABS systems and traction control, but you also get pedestrian safety on here as well. And as you go up through the trim levels, especially when you get to the Shine version, you get loads of extra bits on there. But even as standard, you get lane departure on there as well, and active safety systems. And what they do is even pop up on the screens here so you can see the speeds. Now, because this one's also the Shine, we've got a heads-up display on there, and when you start the car, this even pops up, which is pretty cool. Hopefully the camera can see that. I can see it on here as well. But what it does, you've got the speed indicator, so all of your key driver information is actually going to pop up on here without you needing to brake your sight from the road. That is a useful feature. If you've not used a heads-up display before, I promise you, you'll get on with it really well, because it stops you doing this or that. So yeah, great feature. Really impressed with the interior. I think it's lovely. You've got loads of room. It's really well put together. It's a great layout, and even for a big guy like me, I've got plenty of room. That being said, I hope you enjoyed that bit. Let's go on with the drive. Right then guys, that was the interior bit covered and the outside. Now let's take it for a drive. So it is push start, so just down the front here, foot on the brake. There we go. That screen now pops up, which is pretty cool. Citroen logos come up everywhere, also that's really cool, like it. So yeah, when everything comes to life then, you've got that great driver display there, the 5.5-inch one. You've got the main screen there and the pop-up. It's fantastic. You've got all the information that you need right in front of you there without anything being hidden away. And of course, we've got loads of gadgets on here as well. We won't have time to go through all of them, I promise you. The video will be like an hour long. You've got telematics for your phone there. You've got cruise control. You've got active safety features. You've got your radar detection system on there as well. A whole host of energy saving features on there as well. Heads up display, yeah, absolutely loaded. It's got all the goodies. So let's take it for a drive. Now, I mentioned it's single speed, so you literally just push down here And there is a drive mode selector, which I showed you on the left now, and I'm going to put it into sport because I found like that one was actually the more responsive, clearly, but it didn't really affect the range. So it's just that kind of response time and pickup, which I thought was really, really good. Now you do have a normal and an eco mode that you can run it in, and how it changes things is basically throttle response, and you might get a tiny bit of extra range out of there. But that being said, I'll talk you through more on the drive. Let's go. Automatic handbrake, but just habit, I've turned it off anyway. And away we go. Now you may have already watched some of the videos on this car, but the steering is incredibly light, and you can probably tweak it in the features of the car, in the settings, but yeah, the steering is very, very light. So pretty cool. I mean, I thought it might kind of tighten up automatically in the sport mode, but it hasn't, so that's fair enough. Right, we're away, let's go. So of course, being a single speed, right, it's so smooth to drive, and if you haven't driven one of these newer electric cars where you literally just have, you know, one speed, there isn't a gearbox as such, you should definitely try one out, because there's real pleasure in the fact of there are no gear changes. It's just seamless, and you know, yeah, of course, they're not top speed machines. So just to run you through a couple of stats of the car while at the lights here, it's a 50 kilowatt battery, 0 to 60 is about 9 seconds, 135 brake, around 260 to 300 newton meters of torque depending on the mode that you have it in, a bit like the Peugeot that I drove, to be fair. But it really feels quite quick, you know, it feels swift, and I can assure you all the way up to 70, she does not mess around. So all of the speed limits that you're going to want to adhere to and get to safely as well, I might add, no problem for this car. It really doesn't struggle at all. Coming on to some of the range then before we get into more of the cornering section up ahead. Citroen say you're going to get around 217 miles out of a full charge. Now, in practice from a couple of cars, I would say the average is around 200, and that depends on you really, I guess, because if you're a bit heavy on the foot, you'll probably get a little bit less, maybe 190. Again, if you're very conservative, you'll probably get over 200, but I would think in your mind 200 miles is what you're going to get out of a full charge. Now, I mentioned they're Charge 3 compatible as well, 100 kilowatt hour type charge system. You can get up to 80% from about an hour's charge, which is very good, of course. And yeah, I think someone's done the maths already. I mentioned it in my previous video, and it is effectively the same engine type setup here. You're getting over 150 miles per gallon. And of course, with these cars, there's no road tax, and there are grants from the government as well. So always check at your time of purchase as well, because things are going to change all the time. And it depends on the model and trim and all the rest of it. But yeah, combine that with the incentives from the government, incentives from the dealer, bit of haggling here or there. There's there are some great deals to be had. And if you're only doing fairly short journeys, it makes so much more sense to have an electric than a diesel or a petrol, where in some cases you can even cause a bit of damage to the engine if you do lots of short journeys. These cars are made for that. You know, a quick charge, 200 miles, you can do a ton of stuff with 200 miles. You know, Portsmouth and back again with ease, and another journey, you know, say from like Uckfield area where I'm from. Yeah, really, really good. And that's when you've got all of these screens powered as well. You've got your air conditioning, you've got your driver safety systems. So 200 range in practical terms, absolutely fantastic. So driver position then, as I mentioned, I'm a big guy, I'm 6'4" as well, got loads of headroom here, and I did put the seat down because that's the way I kind of prefer it, but it fits me really well, and you've got great visibility. You've got loads of vision out of the back of that rear window as well, great visibility from the mirrors there, and a great view of the road. And that heads-up display for me is absolutely spot on. Although I will just say one thing, if you had your seat a bit higher, it might start to cut off your view. You can probably do a bit of adjustment on that in the settings as well though, so yeah, everything can be tweaked. But overall, the driving position is really good, and these seats are incredibly comfortable. They really are good. It's a really nice place to be. They've put a lot of time into the sound dampening on this car. Yeah, and it's just a whole lot more spacious than I thought it would be. In fact, you know, we've got a Qashqai, but when you think about what you can get in this car, it makes you wonder, do you need that kind of traditional taller type SUV look? Because as you saw from the cinematics and the Walkaround, this looks a lot more like a coupe, and you've got a massive hatch there and loads of room when you put the seats down. So yeah, definitely food for thought. I do really like all of the active safety features that Citroen have put into this car as well. You've got pretty much everything you can think of. 5-star safety system, all of the toys there. You've got monitoring systems for the car in front. You've got active reading of the traffic signs as well, speed detection automatically. You've got all of the warnings for lane departure, and you can switch some of them off as well. You can tweak these features if you need to, but having them there, you know, even on the base models for the most part as well, is fantastic. You can go for like highway plus packs and things as well, and if you do want your car to be absolutely loaded to the brim, it's the Shine Plus version that you're going to be going for. You certainly wouldn't pick a Shine and add options to it because it'll work out more expensive. So again, I'm going to put the models up on the screen. This is your chance to pause it and you can see what you get as standard and then what you get in addition as you go up through the models. So here we go. It starts with the Sense, then you've got your Sense Plus, then you've got your Shine, then you've got your Shine Plus. And as you go up through the trim levels, you're going to add more equipment as you go. You can still add on things like a sunroof on here as well, which is pretty cool. But for the most part, when you reach the Shine level, you've got nearly everything you could probably think of as well. You can upgrade the sound system when you go to the Shine Plus as well, but 6-speaker system, yeah, it's up to you if you need to, really. I can't get over just how quiet this car is actually. Of course it's electric, so you do hear a faint hum from the batteries, you know, because you need to hear something, but you barely hear anything, honestly. You just hear more of the traffic going past you, little apart from that, that's it. Right, so although we're stuck behind a camper van, we are going into a 30, so speed detection is working, all the signs have been read, it's coming up with 30. We're currently going 27 miles an hour, so we don't need to slow down, but they popped up to let us know that the speed was changing ahead of it. So again, useful feature to have. Now, we're going through Nutley here, so it is a 30 section anyway. It simulates obviously a town driving type scenario, but at this speed it's so quiet in here and it's just a real pleasure. I mentioned about the drive systems. It's not really a gearbox, it is a single speed, but in town driving especially, with no gear changes and being that it's just so smooth, it's really something you've got to try, because if you do a lot of town driving, a lot of start stop, whatever it might be, this will make your life a lot easier. I promise you, it really is a pleasurable drive. So I've been with the car for about an hour now, give or take. I've driven it in total, I don't know, 40 minutes currently. We left with pretty much a full charge, and the current range down here is showing 188 miles. So when they do say, you know, you can get 217, of course they're probably the perfect conditions, but given that I've already driven this for a while and our range is 188, that's a good sign, right? So we're already off to a good start. Something I want to just show you on the fly while we're in this slower speed area, I'm going to use the drive selection on the fly and put it back down into normal. And when I do that, it has now said that our range has gone from 188 up to 197. Now, bearing in mind, I've already been driving this car for a while and I've got the air conditioning on. That's incredible, right? But what it does for the drive of the car as well, it kind of changes things. So Sport was a little bit sharper on the throttle and a bit more responsive. And just to show you something quickly as well, because we're here, there's the 40 sign, and 3, 2, 1, boom. On the heads-up display, it's changed to 40 just to let us know. So that's how accurate they are. Literally the second that I went into that area, it changed. So there we are at 40 now. But the normal mode is just a bit more relaxed in terms of throttle response and overall feel. You can put it into Eco, and I haven't tried it on this car yet, but as we get into the faster speed limit down here, I want to just show you something, and then I'm going to put it into Sport. But national speed limit's coming up. So we're just at 40 now. I'm going to put it into Eco. There we are. Speed's now changed to 60 on the heads up. Now we've got a fair bit of room between us and the car in front. I'm not going to go quick, I just want to simulate something. So if I put my foot down, it's kind of 50, 52. What I wanted to show you, because there's another national bit down here where I can give it a bit more beans, is just to illustrate and just show you the difference in the throttle response. Eco is so much more relaxed. You put your foot down and it will just build up a lot more slowly. If that was Sport mode, it would just go really, really quickly. And these in terms of mid-range acceleration, they're a lot quicker than you might think. As I say, we've got a Qashqai diesel, and this mid-range is quicker than that, and smoother than that, and far better economy than that. Of course, there is a bit of a premium on these cars to start with, but if you're going to be keeping it for a long time, it will definitely pay off, especially if you're doing longer journeys. No drama whatsoever. Right, so roundabout here, this is national. I've put it into sport mode. I just want to hopefully get a bit of a gap, and I just want to show you just how quickly this can accelerate within the speed limits, of course. But so we're at 20 now. I'm going to put my foot down. Wow, 30, 40, 50, 60, and there's your limit. That's pretty quick. I don't think many other cars would do it with ease like that, unless you start going into 1.6, 1.8 and turbocharged units, right? This does it without any gear changes, and it just goes, it just pulls. It's so smooth, it's just incredibly impressive. When you do get up to kind of 60 speeds then, again, they really do maintain the quietness in here and the sophistication. It's a really lovely place to be. You do, of course, get a tiny bit more road noise and wind noise when you get up to 60, but I promise you, I mean, I drive a 5 Series, and I would say it's definitely on par with that, even at those speeds. It really is. They put a lot of work into this. It's very impressive. Right, we're going to do a little bit of cornering, and then we're going to go back to Wilmoths garage. This is just so good. The way it picks up on the country roads, honestly, just kind of mid-range, all within speed limits. It's really, really impressive. I mean, when I did the Peugeot E2008 video, which we linked in this as well if you want to see it, again, I'll say it's such an eye-opener to actually drive these modern all-electric vehicles, because I hadn't done it until the Peugeot video, and it really, really is an impressive bit of technology. They've come such a long way, and much like Peugeot, you know, of course they're very similar in terms of companies, but the interior quality of these compared to, you know, some of the older generations of cars in terms of styling and equipment and just all the gadgets you get with them, they've come such a long way. I mean, the screens here, you know, they're a really high resolution, they're easy to see. They've put some thought into the layout of them. They're very, very easy to use. I mean, we could do a whole video just on that system there, but I'm sure you haven't got time for all of that. But if you want a deeper dive, let me know, and I will do a separate video for you just on the systems. But yeah, it's a really, really great place to be. It's really responsive, it's very comfortable. The layout is great. The equipment level is absolutely stacked. Really, really great. Right, we're going to take a left here through Piltdown and a tiny bit of cornering, and then back to the garage. Go past the golf course. Nice day for it as well. Got to be a wee bit careful at this junction here, because cars tend to sneak up, especially with the bushes being a bit overrun at the moment. So again, we're in the sport mode. It is national speed limit here, 60, but I just want to show you something. So past all the junctions there, we're at 30 in sport mode. Put your foot down, and that torque just comes in pretty much straight away. It's quite a linear delivery, but there was kind of 50, 52 with ease, you know, absolutely with ease. No fuss, no gear changes, just picks up. And it's just so quiet with it. It's very, very impressive. We'll do a bit of cornering just down here where I can actually chuck it through the corners left and right, but just day-to-day driving, the suspension is very, very plush. In fact, it's kind of got a spring system on top of a spring system, and again, I can go into more detail in another video, but it's very responsive. You get minimal body roll, and it just irons out all of the bumps. I mean, this road down here is quite choppy. There was a bit back there where I kind of wobbled a bit, but it's just kind of wafting over these, a bit like a magic carpet. Really impressive. Right, so I'm going to do a tiny bit of just kind of left to right cornering here, just kind of up this hill section, just show you what it's about. But put your foot down, just gently. I'm not doing full throttle. Picks up very, very smooth. And then left-hander here. Yeah, with ease. into a right, and then yeah, pickup is just really, really smooth. Brake at the top, left hand corner, tons of grip, tipper in, and then out the other side. So yeah, honestly, it's a really good package. Now, yeah, it's not a sports car, but for, you know, a medium-sized family SUV and an electric, it's actually a very sporty package combined with a ton of practicality, incredible range, right? Loads of safety features, brilliant comfort, and just an overall pleasurable place to be. I mean, I would happily do a ton of miles in this car, absolute ton of miles. The only thing I can't say we've done is a nighttime driving section, but you've got LED lighting all round on this car, projection beams on there, of course you've got your fogs on there as well, and you've even got that active safety features running in the background while you're doing all of that. So yeah, massively impressive. So I'm going to head back to the garage now. So I just want to say a massive thank you to Tom and the team at Wilmoths Citroen. Really appreciate you giving me the chance to review this incredible car, and I look forward to doing lots more videos for you. And reviewers, I hope you enjoyed the video as well. And if you did, give it a thumbs up, because that really helps me and the channel to grow. And let us know what you think in the comments section. You know, YouTube stuff, it loves all of that. And I'm going to keep working hard to bring you more videos. So thank you very much to everybody. And as always, stay safe, have fun, and I'll see you on the next one.